Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boo Shakalaka podcast. I am your host, Tiffany, and I'm joined with my co-host, Pierre.
Nike Dineros Jen Masmo and Targaria Lentron, and Valeria Foraticotic son, Valeria Munoingas Nuis Isa.
And we are back with our Goosebump reviews. We're back with our Goosebump review. This is Season 1, Episode 3. This episode is called The Cuckoo Clock of Doom. So I guess we could start off with, did you like this episode, Pierre?
I absolutely loved this episode. You did not disappoint. Like this episode was fast paced. There was a lot going on. The story moved. Isaiah broke again. It was just perfect. It was just like the perfect episode. There were also a lot of things that tugged at my heartstrings. So it hit all of my horror movie requirements.
That is, that's fantastic that a TV show about a book written in the 90s by R.L. Stein. What does R.L. Stein stand for? Like Robert Leon Stein?
Roderick or Larry.
Roderick Larry. All of those will work. I'll look it up at the end of the podcast and I'll have that answer. So yeah, this episode, Cuckoo Clock of Doom, I definitely enjoyed it. With what happened at the end of episode 2, it needed to be very fast paced because it got you sitting up in your chair. You were like, what is going on? What happened to James? Why is he this big yellow goo? I need answers, and I need them now. All right, so we start off the episode. We flash back to Halloween night. So as you mentioned in the last episode, you like how they keep going back to Halloween night. And it's like so many things happen that night between all of our main characters, but we're just finding them out. Everybody gets their own episode. I really enjoy that. It lets you get to know each character. Mm-hmm. Even though we still don't know Isabella.
We still don't know Allison.
Allison is not a star player, honey. I don't think she's in the main picture. She's not in the in the promo pic. Flashback to Halloween night with Isaiah jumping out of the closet. Chase.
Oh, that scared me.
Oh, I was saying it in my Chucky voice from Child's Play 1 when he jumps up and says, surprise! But anywho, he comes out of the basement with the camera and he says cheese to everybody, and James falls and hits his head on the cuckoo clock in the room. I just have one thing to say. If Isaiah and James aren't together by the end of this series, I'm rioting.
Ew. The thing that I took away from that part was how Allison knows what a contusion looks like from the front. It was because he hit the back of his head, and she's like, looks like you have a contusion. I'm like, how do you see that with that fro?
He did have a little Miss Frizzle going on.
Yeah, so she was like, you have a contusion. And I'm like, well, he hit the back of his head, ma'am.
She's smarter than we know. We just will never get the opportunity to understand. So we jump back to the party, and James is walking around like a live action episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. He is killing me. Hey girl, pandemic realness. I'm like, why is he being extra right now? Like, he's not the host.
Yeah, well,
Allison is the host.
Yeah, it was cringy. Like, it was very people pleasery because I'm like, but then I was like, well, is he popular? Because he is friends with the star football player. So it confused me because I was like, what are you doing? Like, do you really know these people?
Yeah, but I think it might just be his way of overcompensating because Isaiah is so popular, and he just feels like, he's just tagging along for the ride.
Maybe I guess because he is, dressed like Selena Kyle from Batman Returns, I thought he had a little bit more confidence to where he wouldn't have to do that.
I don't know, but he's the sexiest cat in this party, according to Isaiah.
Great friendship.
Beautiful gowns. So we see him trying to impress his crush, Sam. And he's just super fake. He can't figure out which football team is his favorite. He's like making up names, and Sam's like, you know what? You're putting on the Ritz. I sounded really
that old. Hurt. Not that hurt, because he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go. Like, it was so real for Sam, but it was just like God, I know that stung. Like, hey, wait, where are you going? Like, sir, you blew it.
I wish I could be that type of person. But, so after Sam shoots him down, he goes and talks to his true love, Isaiah, and lets him know that he's leaving. He's done for the night. He's just going to go ahead and go home. Walks outside, and bam, we're flashed right back to the scene where he hits his head on the cuckoo clock. Everybody is repeating the things that they said prior, that what we heard early in the episode. So James is like, what's going on? He tries to grab his stuff.
See Groundhog Day.
Correct, please. He tries to leave like 4 or 5 times. He goes out the front door. He goes out the back door. He goes out the window. And and he keeps taking him right back to where he hit his head on the clock. So he gets into this funk, and he just is sitting on the stairs, and he just decides, you know what? I don't know what I can do. Even though he doesn't try to do anything but leave. Like, absolutely nothing. He does not try to do anything but leave. So he's sitting on the stairs. He's sitting on the stairs, depressed and worried. When Trade comes up, he's totally fine.
Did you just say in the podcast now? Now. Shut it down.
Okay, bye.
Shut it down.
Is he or is he not Trade? You tell me. You like the men?
I wouldn't say.
He's Trade in James's eyes.
Yes.
There we go. So James Trade comes in, and he's totally fine. So they get to chatting, and then
Sam walks up. Well, no, Sam doesn't walk up. He rudely says, "Can you move?" And then, and James is like, "Oh, I guess I'll move." And then, he sits down. He's very empathetic. I do appreciate this moment because he's like, "Hey, is anything wrong?" And then James is very morbid. Like, I'm trying to escape this. I'm trying to escape this moment, but no matter what, it was very blankicidal. Very much so 13 Reasons Why. And then I'm
not familiar.
Really? What?
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
It was very 13 Reasons Why. And so they get to talking, and James asked him, hey, so what's your favorite soccer team? And then he's like, why? Like, that threw me off. I was like, why? I'm like, I just need to know. And so, of course, James Googles the soccer team, which I think is Arsenal. And then he runs out of the door. He repeats the night. And so he very manipulatively replays the conversation and pretends like he knows about soccer. And, he spills all these facts. And so they have this great connection, which proceeds them to make out. Very gay, very no homo, very pause. They make out, and then he's like, Isaiah, I made out with him. Isaiah's sitting down this whole damn party. Like, for him to be the most popular kid in school, what a loser.
Right, he hadn't broken his arm yet.
Yeah, so he was just sitting down the whole time. And I was like, okay, Isaiah. So, he bigs him up. Isaiah's he's a great ally. LGBTQI. And so James has a stroke of genius because Sam's like, let's get out of here because I just met you this night, and so we're gonna have sex. Very gay stereotype. So he goes and he turns the clock off, and so when he turns the clock off, he's able to leave the threshold of the house finally, and we're just left to assume that they go and they have hot, wild kitty sex.
Because he is the hottest cat in the party.
Yes, hottest pussy.
He didn't say pussy. That would have just been really gay. That would have been too gay. Kitty might have been. Kitty is borderline, so they just had to leave it at cat. They had to leave it at an adult cat.
Yes.
So the next morning after his fling, he's home and in the best mood, and he gets a message from Sam. Sam wants to link up again, and he's like, yeah, I got it going on. And he goes to make some Pop-Tarts.
He actually steals the whole Pop-Tart stash, which I was like, how many friends do you have?
He said he got to take it to his boys. I don't know. The only friend we know about is Isaiah. So I guess how many Pop-Tarts come in a pack? 8? So I guess they each were going to eat 4.
Okay. They're high school kids, so they need to eat.
He wanted to get Isaiah some breakfast before the game that night.
That's what it was.
Correct. So looking out for his boy, homies for life. He closes the refrigerator door. I don't know what he was going to the fridge for, but he closed the refrigerator door.
He was drinking some milk or something. Remember, he was drinking out of the carton.
Gross.
That's what his duplicate said.
People do that.
That's.
And then boom, he closed the door and he sees himself. a clone of himself. And he's like, this is not how it's supposed to work,
It's not how
how did
time
this
travel works.
correct? This is not how it's supposed to work. How are you here? And then he sees there's like 8 clones. I think there's around 8 total clones. I should have counted how many times he tried to leave out of the house.
Yeah.
And they take him to Jigsaw's warehouse and they throw him into a pit because they're about to wreak havoc on, what do they live? Portsmouth? No, Fort Washington.
I thought we agreed it was Washington State. It's where Twilight was filmed. That's all you guys need to know. It's where Twilight was
okay. Yeah. So he goes back to Twilight High, and he starts just wrecking his relationships. Life. Yes, he goes to Allison and insinuates that Margot and James. I'm sorry. He goes to Allison and insinuates that Margot and Isaiah are hooking up, and then he stirs up drama with Sam. He asks Sam to meet him somewhere, and then doesn't show up. And Sam's like, you could have been a little courteous to let me know you weren't going to be there. And he's like, why you all up on me, man? What you want?
Communication is key.
I don't know. He's just showing his ass. He's acting like Isabella was acting when she had the mask on. Just real cunty. Real. I can't be bothered with anything or anybody else. I rule. You drool.
Yeah. Side note, that was Allison's 4 seconds of screen time this episode.
Why they doing my girl like this?
Like, I don't know what negotiations are going on. Maybe she has another show coming out with, but baby, when I tell you she is only in the episode for 4 seconds total.
No, she got the contusion part.
She got the contusion and she got that. So, okay, we'll give her 6 seconds.
Oh, poor baby. Allison, we love you, girl. So then after he is wrecking shop at Allison's and with Sam, we skip back to the end of episode 2 where he and Isabella are playing pool. Isabella cracks the pool cue. He kersplats and she screams again. So we get to see that lovely scene again. And the parents come in really fast. Mind you, they were outside on the patio drinking wine. And had Nora left by this time?
I'm guessing Nora had just walked away. I think she walked away after they, threatened to take her son away. So
I would have too. She might have went in the kitchen and got a knife or something. I don't know because she wasn't
fucking Black Mamba. Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
I should have let you say it.
I was gonna say that. We're gonna meet at the ballpark, dressed in all black. We're gonna have ourselves a knife fight. She should have got an Oscar for that. I don't know what the hell is wrong with the Oscar committee. Vivica Oscar, please. So the parents run in and they're like, Isabella, what's wrong with you? Ew, why is it so nasty in here? What are you doing? And then Isabella explains that James exploded. And James like, what? I'm right here. So he pops up out of nowhere and he tries to dismiss it all as a slime prank gone wrong. And Isabella's like, okay, pulls up the pool stick, is like, I'm gonna bust your ass. You get any closer to me. And her mom is like, we gotta get out of here. And she's very apologetic to Eliza, who is James's mom. And
They're
like
drunk.
both characters are very apologetic to her. So I'm thinking she might have been the ringleader to do whatever happened to have that Biddle died. Like, yeah. I feel like she might have been the reason behind everything. Mm-hmm. And then for some reason, they're still scared of her.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but I was just like, okay, she definitely had something going on back in the day. And then Double James starts stalking Isabella back at home.
The weirdest scene. Now, say that's when the goosebumps come in, because it was like, why are you here? He just like, shh, and then he disappears. I'm like, what's happening?
Right. Do you want to kill her? You do know that she can hit you with like a toothpick and you'd probably explode. Like, I mean, she hit that pool cue hard, but she didn't, it wasn't like she pitched a baseball or something into the top of his head.
Correct.
They're very fragile. With it being a tennis ball or something. But I mean, the next time she hits him, she wasn't playing.
So then we skip to some tea. These scene skips are much better than last episodes. They flow better. And we skip to Isaiah and Margot, and basically what they're talking about is the troll incident. And they're like, whoa, was that a troll? Like, can't believe that was a troll. Then, things get a little intimate. And this is the first sign that they have something going on. The whole time I just thought like childhood friends, like flash forward, like those two childhood friends live next door to each other. They have their own secret language. I didn't get sexual tension until this episode, where he's all like putting his arm around her and about to lean over from a kiss until they're interrupted by his fine ass daddy, talking about what's going on, and
What?
and so they get caught and they try to play it off and like, how you doing? How you doing, Mr. Isaiah's dad? And he's like, it's going. Like, it's almost like I expected him to be more disapproving, but he seemed like he had his own shit going on. But yeah, they got caught almost smooching, and I was very surprised. That took me out. Like, you are a cheater.
I just have to just rewind back. Flash forward. Becca and Tucker.
Yes.
Flash forward. Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to be sure.
We are I'm a 90s kid, so I'm not ashamed of that.
Excuse me? Episode 1, you told me you were born in 1999.
Correct. That's in the 90s. Problem. Anywho.
You were coherent enough to watch a Disney show that was in syndication at the time. Okay. You know what? Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I could have said Doug and Patty mayonnaise. Anywho. So
old.
So we skip to the school because they're like, hey, let's talk to James about this. James has been missing in action, so they want to catch up their friend. And so they're back at the high school and they meet up with James and he's walking away from them, very dismissive. They're like, James, come back. And he's like, get the hell away from me. And so they're trying to explain to him what happened. And he's very dismissive again. Of course, he's a dupe. And this is when Isaiah breaks again. He's like,
James.
Like, James, are you still mad about that? And I'm like, it was just multiple sentences like, you better apologize to her. You still mad about that? Don't act like that. And I'm like, what? They should have just made him a foreign exchange student from Britain. Because I don't know. Maybe when he's like flustered, he does it. Or when he tries to talk fast.
He didn't even need to be a foreign exchange student. He could have been with a dad and mom. And the mom went to work in London and he lived there and they moved back 2 years ago. They could have said one thing to just let that slide. But now, like I said, it is my mission. I'm going to start writing them down. I think I might do a montage of every time he breaks. No, that's too much work. Anyway, so Isaiah and Margot are talking to James, and James is just being a total asshole. He is like letting them have it. Like I said, the dupes are reading like The Mask. And Isabella runs up and she takes a bat and just splat. Like, she's not even thinking maybe this might be him. She don't even care. She just hitting him like Gallagher with a watermelon.
Bring him out. Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you just said that, Gallagher watermelon, because we learned that the slime that he explodes into smells like watermelon Jolly Ranchers. I don't know why that's significant, but they say it multiple times, so I just wrote it down.
Yeah, it did make me want to go get a Jolly Rancher. So Margot, Isabella, and Isaiah go and have a chat while they're cleaning off the Gallagher watermelon slices. And they find out that Isabella has been the troll all along. But Isabella's like, that's beside the point. That's chump change. We ain't even talk. There's more pressing matters we got to talk about. Don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that, cuz. Don't even worry about that. I mean, she pushed that to the side like real fast. And since Nora gave that picture to Margot, they all decide to go see her. Nora tells them, Nora's like, Margot, go talk to your mama. I ain't got nothing to do with this.
Literally. Like, she's like, Chad, trying to say, Chad, wait, Chad, go on now, Chad, go on now. I don't know y'all. Like,
she had it. After Ben cussed out, Ben must have punched her and we didn't see it. I don't know. Because she was like, nope, I ain't finna do it. So now we leave the kids and we go back to Nathan's house. He is in there getting his groove on, dancing and eating worms.
Literally. And the cocoa powder. And so back to your point, Harold, have you been alive before? Like, he's just acting very, very weird to someone who had used to be a human before. And I did notice something else. Did you notice how all of a sudden the basement got revamped, repolished, rebuilt? I thought that it when it blew up, they were never able to get into it, so they couldn't do anything to it. So now he okay? Now it's okay? Because I mean, it was
But I
the
mean,
carpet, wallpaper, paint. He had it set up back. Like it. Explain.
so I'm thinking he didn't burn in that fire.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it might have got stopped and they burned his ass somewhere else.
Dracarys.
They were in there putting on the spell of the century. What if it turns out like Eliza, Ben, Nora, and Sarah are all witches? The Craft.
Okay. Okay.
All you need is one black.
Get the. I don't like Negroids. Hail to the Guardians of the Watchtower of the North. I invoke thee. So we're gonna make that canon for now. They just went and burned him up.
I'm gonna write that down. So he's eating worms, and then we see that he has possession of the camera and he has possession of the mask again. And then here comes Colin showing up at the house to talk to him to see if he's all right because the kids had the party at his house. I'm like, you couldn't talk to him at work? You sure?
Yeah, what a weird check-in. It was very awkward. Like every scene with him is awkward because he's like, hey, you want something to drink? And then he offers him like he has chocolate milk in his hand and he offers him a water. A side discussion. Are adults too old to drink chocolate milk?
No.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
So chocolate milk is a very good recovery drink after a hard lifting workout.
Really?
Yes.
I will never know because I don't drink it.
There we have it.
And then we get a little bit of exposition because I don't know. All of a sudden he starts opening up to him and he's like, yeah, me and my wife Sarah. Sarah is obviously significant to Harold. He's like, hey, so y'all having trouble? He's like, we're separated. I'm like, y'all know each other like that?
You don't know this man. And this is your daughter's teacher.
Like, sir, but okay, whatever floats his boat. Basically, he just comes over to say, hey, we want to know if you're going to press charges on the kids. He's like, I ain't pressing charges on them damn kids. I was doing something at this party myself. And he's like, you know what? I feel you. Because one thing about them high school students, I keep getting older. They stay the same age. So, yeah.
Thank you, Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna look in that. I'm gonna close that. We're gonna skip back to James, who is trying to escape from the Jigsaw warehouse. He does not. He's climbing up this ladder and he falls from I swear 30 feet on his back into asphalt. He should have been dead.
Now, this is another part that I liked about the episode, though. It was very realistic, like the fact that he's been there a week. There's water at the bottom of the Jigsaw tunnel, so it's like he's having to drink the muddy water. That's realistic stuff. In that situation, I have to survive. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to drink this shitty ass water. So I just thought that just kind of heightened it for me, the experience, because I was like, damn, this is real stakes. He's dying down here. Was
the episode really dark to you?
It was.
Okay. Because there was something he sees. James sees something, and then the music swells and it goes to commercial. But I was like, what did you see? Was it a rat?
Yeah. What did he see?
I don't know. So I'm.
Ready. Yeah. So we catch back up to the gang, and they're at James's house stalking him. And so Isabella wants to go and wham him up some more because it's about to be a what? Girl fight. But they're like, no, let's follow him. And so they follow him in his, what kind of car is that?
A Jeep.
Is that a Hemi? Balls to the wall.
So this lets us know that Double James is super rich because he sneaks off to when they get there, James is like, what is he doing at his family's old mine? What the fuck are you talking about, old mine? What is this, my Bloody Valentine?
They found the gold. I don't know.
It was really weird. And of course, it's a trap. Double James takes them. You're welcome. Damn it, I gotta go watch it. Double James takes them and puts them He takes them down to the mine and like ties them up or something. Question: when did fake James go and get 7 other outfits that were all the same?
I was hoping you wouldn't mention it. The cat suit I understand because that's what he was wearing at the party, but the pink little Chris Brown outfit, I don't know. I was just gonna chalk it up to he's like Einstein and he wears the same outfit every day.
Yes, giving us a little bit of Steve Jobs.
Oh, rest in peace. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so after he tells them that none of them are the real James, he ends up throwing the Scooby Gang in a pit.
Okay.
And Isaiah sees another James down there, and he immediately hits him in the head with a rock to see if it's the real James. And by golly, it's the real James. Then they get into a very
that hit could have killed him. That was a big rock.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, yeah. And we learn you gotta hit him in the head, and then they start spilling their feelings to each other. James feels like
so beautiful.
Tell me how beautiful it was to you.
It was so beautiful. Wow, why did I say all that? It was so beautiful because there was just a lot of like, you know, bromance emotions going on. And so, you know, James is like, how did you not know it was me? How'd you not know it was me? Mind you, this trope is in multiple television shows. But he's like, how did you not know it was me? And so that's when Isaiah finally lets him know, like, it's hard because you never are yourself, you know? You're a people pleaser. You're a fake. You put on for other people. And so that's when James is like, bro, you don't understand. I'm one of like 6 gay kids in this town, you know? You're popular. You've been popular since the 1st grade. And so I related to that because I get, you know, they're teenagers and you don't want to be different from your peers. So I understood where James was coming from, but I also understood where Isaiah was coming from. Like, I understood both sides. I don't know. I was always myself. But besides the fact that I like the boys. But so then they get broken out by the 2 warrior women. So yeah, they bust them out and they're like, you guys, and they're like, how'd you find us? Like, you were gushing over each other for the past 10 minutes. And so,
they belong together.
And so they run out, they all, you know, they run, they try to escape, and then bam, they get split up. Margot and Isabella are hid behind a door, and then it's James and Isaiah against all the dupes. And so what do?
They turn into Charlie's Angels.
Smack my bitch.
And then they end up stomping out the dupes like Chris in Get Out. I love that moment. I love that type of scene. Smash them, kick them, heel to teeth, knock them out.
Yes. And they make up, and it's all great and grand.
And guess where they go next? Nora's Breakfast Boutique.
The most disgusting part of the episode, because the way James was eating those pancakes, I understand he hadn't eaten in a long time, but don't piss me off. Do not piss me off.
ASMR I think is the most disgusting thing ever. I do not like watching people eat. I do not like hearing people eat. The only thing that I can hear eat, and I'm okay with it, is my dog.
You don't like ASMR. That's crazy. Michael, awesome.
So as they're eating the pancakes, everybody's sitting at the table telling Margot, hey, Margot, you need to call your mom. And Margot's like, well, she's doing her professional photography thing. And James says, I was locked in a mine for a week. And I didn't eat for a week and drank dirty water for a week. You gonna call your mom.
Realest line that the writers, oh God, that was the realest line of the series. Cause girl, oh my God. And then she was like, you know, she was also like, oh my God, you know, my parents might be separating. I don't want to deal with it. I want to make it real. Girl, go watch Mrs. Doubtfire. We have gotten over the whole, it's my fault that my parents get divorced. Go watch Mrs. Doubtfire. Get over it. Like, there's real shit going on, and you talking about some damn separation. Girl, bye. Your dad's already having an affair.
Well, she don't know that yet. So she calls her mom, and we see that it is the mom from the Chucky series. So let me tell you how this all flowed together. Did you watch the Chucky season 1?
Yes, I did.
So remember Junior?
Yeah.
So the mom on Goosebumps, so I'm sorry, Margot's mom on Goosebumps is Junior's mom on Chucky.
I
In
didn't.
real life, Margot and Junior are brother and sister.
Shut up. Seriously?
Yeah. I looked
That
it
is
up. I was like,
cool.
wait a minute. And they were
Now
both
that is.
born, yeah, that, they were both born in England. So I'm like, wait.
So why aren't they breaking? Oh.
But I went and looked a little more, and she's American. I think they were just born in England.
Okay. Well, that's nepo. Well, damn, what's the blonde girl's name in Chucky? Because that is her
Lexi.
actual mom. Yeah, Lexi's mom is her actual.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the mom from One Tree Hill. If anybody cares, she has two daughters. Well, she has three daughters, and they all look like her, and it's really creepy, and they're all blonde.
Yeah. The other daughter is from The Babysitter.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, the episode's almost. I feel like we do this every time we get to the end of the episode. We veer off really fast, and
It's okay
we
because
just
people love it.
go down. We go down a hill, and I don't know. So she calls her mom, and she gets her mom on speakerphone. She doesn't let her know that anybody else is listening, and she tells her, "Hey, we need to talk about Biddle." And the mom was like, "Don't say anything. I'm on my way." Click, and everybody's looking like, "Why was this so dramatical?"
It was very cryptic. And then she was like, you can't trust any of the other parents. And I think that's also what has them like, because Isaiah's like, what you mean you can't trust no other parents? Well, Isaiah, James, and Isabella.
What parents?
It was very cryptic. And it's like, girl, why hadn't we been called Sarah ass? She ain't busy. Because she was chilling when she called her. She answered it like one ring.
She picked up and said, "What can I do for you?" "Hello, daughter. What can I do for you? What you want?"
Like, and then she goes over and she has like this box of goodies. So she must have not been planning on coming back because she got a whole box of goodies and there's a picture of Harold in there. And I'm just like, what? Man, we needed you this whole time. Like, if you knew, whatever, Sarah. Sarah about to piss me off.
You think she's sleeping with the ghost?
Depending on because of the way that he reacted to like, oh, y'all are having problems. I feel like he likes her. I feel like Sarah's the person in the group that he might have liked.
Yeah. We talked about that last time because remember he had his burn book and her name was written so many times over. I think she might have been, what's it called? A honey trap.
Okay.
You know what a honey trap is?
I understand. I get it. I hate you and your references.
No, just because it was a movie doesn't mean it wasn't a thing before it was a movie.
No, I get it. I understand that they use. Yeah, I get it. I just hate that you. I hate you. Yeah, I really do hate you. Honey traps can also be men. See Carrie for full details.
You millennial.
And so we head back to Harold's house, and we see that one of the dupes is still alive, and he gives Harold. What is that? Like, I don't know. I thought it was like an instrument case. I wasn't in band.
A briefcase. Hold on. He gives a case. Harold opens it and screams, "Where is he? Where is he?" The only thing small enough to fit in that box is Slappy, the ventriloquist dummy baby. He's coming back.
Congratulations. I'm so glad you're getting what you want.
And I hope the episode scares the shit out of you.
So yeah, that's because I was like, we've been wondering who he is, and so now I'm wondering, does he have like a bunch of enchanted objects like Voldemort? Like, because it's like these objects all seem to have these magical powers, and he seems to know that they have magical powers. So now I'm wondering, is he a witch?
Yeah, so maybe the group, they were a group of 5, and they kicked him out, and they became a foursome because Harold was much stronger than them. Come on now.
No, yeah. Hulu writers room, please see Tiffany for further instruction. And so because Slappy is not in the case, he decides to throw something at the last dupe, making him explode. And so Harold exhibits a lot of anger issues. This is his second time blowing up, because remember when he was playing the his little music earlier and it was skipping, instead of just, I don't know, blowing on it, rubbing on it, he decides to bust it open. So he has anger issues. So I'm starting to think Harold is not like the sweet, innocent guy that we thought he was in the first episode. Like he has those weird anger issues. For reference, see Degrassi. Wasn't feeling that. Starting to lose sympathy for him.
Yeah. So for this episode, nothing has topped the first episode for me just yet. So I think I'll give this a 7.5 Goosebumps out of 10 because, as I mentioned last episode, it was kind of slow paced in the beginning, and then the end was like, whoa. This one was whoa in the beginning and very slow paced towards the end. But I still enjoyed it. I still want to come back next week. I still want to watch the next episode, and I am.
I'll give it a 9.
Oh.
I'll give it a 9. It was different, and there was a lot of character development. You got to see their relationships, everybody but Allison. But Isaiah broke again. Like it was great. I'm gonna just chalk it up to this is his first American role, and because sir, you got to stop doing that. But yeah, I'll give it a 9.
He does. All right. Well, that will end this week's episode. So that is season 1, episode 3 of Goosebumps. This episode was called The Cuckoo Clock of Doom. Come join us next week while we will review episode 4, which is called Go Eat Worms. So I'm Tiffany signing off.
And this is Pierre. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.